Welcome back to Cards and Comics. Today I have a huge mail day, mostly 90s cards, guys. It's been kind of my focus lately, and this is going to be pretty diverse and a lot of really cool inserts that I like. Not all King Griffey Jr. We're going to start with non-baseball. I know I like starting with that because a lot of people don't like the non-baseball, but here we go. Show you anyway. First up, here we go. We got a Topps Finest. We got a gold. Alexander McGillney. This is, I believe, 90. Let's see if we can see it. At 96 gold. So there you go. A lot of fun. These gold cards are so really cool. You know, I love to get, all the Gretzky's, the Lemieux, just have all the really main stars. Just like in baseball and football, they're just fun to collect and they're very cheap. You can see rare right there. So there we go. Alexander McGillney, gold, Sterling Finest. All right, moving on to football. That was our one hockey card. We got 96 select. Barry Sanders here. Prime cut. So you can see it's a very cool die cut. Cheap football, and you can see his name's in gold, so it's a little bit more than just the die cut. Again, 96 select. And you can see one of 1,996 sets produced, guys. It's a rarity. I like that, though. I like that they were trying to create scarcity back in those days, guys. They definitely were trying. Next up is from 1998. It is, it's definitely it's 97. It's back in the old Dufex days. So we got Pinnacle Inscriptions, Barry Sanders. So this is one of those just really pretty cards. I mean, it's got kind of a sunburst pattern. Then in the background, you'll see his name inscribed. Then you got the gold. So again, I think this is like why, the 90s cards are just so much cooler than some modern cards, is because you're getting kind of all this technology and gold, gold foil, the kind of refractory, Dufexy effect there. So a lot of stuff going on this card. Here's the back of it. Again, not much going on the back, but the front is definitely cool. And this is like a very cheap card. This is like probably a $5 to $10 card. Again, I like it because it's so cool. So cool looking. Next up is from 98 Topps. This is a Mystery Finest insert, Emmitt Smith. The thing I like about these is the rainbow refractor look. You get the multicolored rainbow refractory look. I think that this is like a very underrated set here. And I think, try to get my camera down a little bit so we get some less glare here. But yeah, I really think this is one of those sets that you're just going to have, a lot of people, here we go, maybe move it up a little bit. I don't know. I'm kind of new at this kind of thing. Never done this stuff before. I should know how to do it better. Maybe move my light up so it doesn't create as much glare. There we go. A little bit better. Like this is one of those cards that, in sets, it's kind of forgotten. I know it's Emmitt Smith is definitely not as popular as Barry Sanders. And again, the way these come, they were covered, and you got one of these four guys on this card. You could get Eddie George, Emmett, Bettis, or Sanders. So it's kind of one of those cool. You didn't know who you were going to get till you peeled it. So yeah, fun card. And again, I think one of those cards that has a great design as well as good player. And then last but not least, the 99 Topps Finest. We got the old Fred Taylor. This is second year Fred Taylor. I just thought it was cool. Nice 99 refractor. I pick them up when they come across the old eBay at $2 to $5. To me, they're just like cool pickups for any name player. Then we'll start baseball. Baseball is going to be big. There's a lot of stuff here. We'll start here with an autograph. It's our only real autograph, I think, in this whole section here. But this is 99 Epic Signatures. This is Mr. Bob Feller. Again, one of my favorite sets for autographs of all time. It's probably one of the top 5 90s autograph sets easily. The Ted Williams alone makes this set killer. Ted wasn't in hardly any sets in that time period. I believe there's the same usual Ted Williams, like King Griffey, Willie Mays. So it's a loaded set. You get one per box. So that was sort of the only downside was, it wasn't a one per pack or whatever type product. It was one of these autographs per box. So you could get, Bucky Dent, or you could get, you could get this card. So, or some other card. So there you go. Bob Feller. I don't have this card. I've put this whole set together. So, but it's a card I don't have currently. Next up, some refractors I picked up from different sets of Hall of Famers or just players I like. So here's a 97 Bowman Chrome. The cool thing about this set that I love is that I opened boxes of this set when it first came out. In fact, it was kind of like it was an experiment, honestly. 97 Bowman Chrome. And I bought boxes of it. My dad was kind of like, I don't know. But I had a lot of fun opening it. And then he had all the rookies. And the set kind of blew up. And then all the rookies kind of failed. Then the set kind of got dead again. It's like Kerry Wood, it was so huge. And then he got hurt. And then, there wasn't tons of Hall of Famers in the set. But it was a fun set to collect for a long time. And the refractors are hard to find centered. And this Gwyn is very, very nicely centered. So it's a cool card. All right. Next up is 98 Bowman Chrome. And then here's just a player I like because he's a Pirate. Jason Kendall. It's not numbered. It's just the base refractor. But again, for $2 or $3, getting a base refractor of one of my favorite players of all time. Jason Kendall, he was such a stud. And if you ever want to see something awful, Google his spring training injury to see why he never made, the Hall of Fame or an All-Star game again. I think maybe he made one All-Star game after the injury. But he, that injury is gruesome. Probably one of the most graphic, injuries I can remember. And it was an ankle injury, and this is as bad as any football injury, honestly. Like, if you've seen like some of the, forget was it Napoleon Kaufman or the Raiders running back, that may be more gruesome, but Jason Kendall's ankle injury was awful. Next up, Tom Glavine, 99 Topps Finest refractor. So again, just love these 90s refractors. This card's interesting because it came to me in a holder and it was like in a sleeve, and the sleeve was again pressed and sealed to the card. And now this is like the 4th or 5th. I remember when I went and converted all of my Pulsar set from Mystique into was it Phil Brilliance? The Pulsar set into One Touches. They were all the same way, that all the cards, the sleeve had either gotten moisture or it just over time had adhered itself to the card. And I had to basically peel the sleeve off the card to get the card out, and I put a new sleeve on it. So I'm wondering, with some of these old cards like this and how the technologies in these cards were so new at the time, if these penny sleeves from that time period aren't able to keep from basically forming a bond with the card, if the modern sleeves are better, or if you have to change your sleeves on cards like this every 5 or 10 years, just so that you don't have the card and the sleeve kind of meld together. Because it was kind of scary. Like, it was almost like, yes, this protector did work a little bit, because that card was that was hard to get off. And the Pulsar set I had the same way, and some other cards I've had recently were like that. So it's just very interesting that those cards do this. Next up, All right, reposition my camera a little bit, so maybe not so much glare. I'll try this out. Kind of an amateur at this. This is kind of my first rodeo, right? Should be better at this. But the next set I'm going to talk about is a set I don't ever see out in the wild. I just don't, and that's why I kind of made the deal with this guy. He had a ton of these cards, so I just kind of picked the ones I like the best or could afford. He didn't have, the Griffey or the Thomas or any of the like super mega cards, but he had some really nice ones. And actually, I picked up a card that I think definitely top tier Hall of Famer from that time period. We'll start here with I call the pirate side of it, the pirate. So the set itself is a 63 classic set. So these are all numbered out of 63 for the 98 Flair set. So here we go. Here's the first card, Al Martin, and it is the again, you can see the gold on the card. I think it's just, it's kind of plain. I know that's why a lot of people, in fact, a lot of my friends that collect a lot of the rare stuff from the 90s are like, they're boring. They don't like having to pay like the big money for like the big cards like Griffey, but to me, they're still cool cards. And I remember even when I saw these as a younger self, I won't say with a kid at 98, but I thought these were cool and I would have loved to have pulled one. I've never pulled one of these. I opened a box of these cards and I never pulled one. There's a Kindle, number 14 of 63. There you go. And you just don't, again, you don't ever see these guys out in the wild. So, there's the Bernie Williams, again, being in the New York area. It's always good to pull some Bernie cards. I think he's so underrated. Huge part of that team that won those World Series. Number 9 of 63. We'll get into the Hall of Famers, and I got a couple Hall of Famers here. I got Paul Molitor, again. It's more on the holder. Again, you can see that gold. Pretty well centered. Number 21 to 63. Really dig that Paul Molitor right there. Next up is Craig Biggio, again, another Hall of Famer. And I think it's just one of those cards his cards do sell pretty well. I know there's some super collectors out there, 58 to 63. And again, at this time, cards numbered out of 100 were pretty rare. 63 is actually a pretty rare set, especially for a set this big. Pretty big set. I forget how many there was, maybe like 100 cards in the set. And next up was the big dog. This is the Cal Ripken. See the gold. I think Ripken definitely is top tier Hall of Fame from this time period, number 52 to 63. Super stoked to get the Ripken. So there we go. Love this set. Super cool set. Next up is a set that I've never really seen ever before live. So I was just searching around and kind of just trying to find some cards, different set of cards. In fact, I got one of those cards here to show you that I was looking for, and this set kind of popped up, and then I started researching, and I'm like, wow, this set is super cool. And then, so I found the entire set for $40, and I'll kind of tell you what it is. So here's the first card in the set. There's only 3 cards in the set. It's the Stadium Club Team Finest Bronze Finest metal set. So I don't know, like there's a lot of stuff going on there. So this you could only get these cards if you were a Stadium Club team member and you bought the entire team set. You could get this set as part of that deal. And so these cards are metal. You can see on the back. They also have a resin, and I'll take the bonds out. They have a resin coating. And so these cards are very much like the Stars and Steel Domed cards. So that's sort of like, I was reading the history of those cards, and I mentioned these cards as kind of like their predecessor. Again, you can see fingerprints on the back. These cards are very difficult to keep in great shape. So here is the bonds. Again, I got the full set. There's only 3 again. So that's bonds, and just a really cool set. Here is the Griffey. Try to get it in the light so you can see how cool the Griffey is. Then here is the back. And again, this set cost me $40 for all 3 cards. So you're paying like, less than $15 a card. And this set's super unique and cool. And they don't really make cards like this anymore. These resin-coated metal cards. I mean, honestly. And then here's the Frank Thomas. So it's cool to get, and the fact that all three cards or players are the guys you want to get from this era. So I guess you could argue Derek Jeter, maybe. But Bonds, Frank, and Griffey would be hard to argue that they were the best players at this point in time. So there you go. That's the Frank Thomas. And you can see right there. Whoop, sorry. The camera again. Hit 3 of 3 right there. All right. Next up is a card that I just was talking about. The set I was actually researching was this set right here. And it's the 1999 Stars and Steel Domed Hollow Gold. And here is the Craig Biggio from that set. This set is got a lot of stuff going on. Now, I've read about it where a lot of people are speculating that this set was super short printed. It was expensive to make, and Topps was kind of did it for 2 years. And the first year, the hollows were very just, like a holographic foil on top of the metal card. This year, they did that resin domed look to them, which makes them just amazing looking cards. But there's rumors out there that short print run and that there's only a couple hundred of these cards ever made or printed. So it's one of those cards that I've heard fewer than 100. I've heard that there could be up to 200 to 300 of the dome golds. But when you look at how often they sell and just the players you don't ever see, I think under 100 could be feasible for this set. It's hard to really judge. Here's the back, and then you can see, there's some damage right here on this card. And I've seen these cards all be damaged. I've seen more damage on these cards than I have seen cards that were clean. I know there's some graded versions out there, but man, these cards are easy to damage and nick up on the back. But it's cool that they have this, almost refractor like hollow finish on the back and on the front. So there's a Craig Biggio. So I guess it's a heavy Craig Biggio day. Next up is the Team Finest from 1999. Blue Frank Thomas, and these are numbered out of 150. So for people who don't know about the Team Finest set, there's 3 colors. There's red, blue, and gold. So the reds I think are out of 500. The blues are out of 150, or maybe 300. And then I think the golds are out of like either 50 or 25. I should know this stuff better. It's late. But I think the golds are definitely 50 or 25. They're super hard to get. And I've never had a gold of anyone. And I've opened up a lot of boxes of this product. I've never pulled any of the refractors, red, blue, or gold, for the team set. So they're pretty rare. I mean, you don't see these very often. And so I got a chance to get the Frank Thomas in a recent Frank Thomas breakup of a master set. And again, it's the old cool double-sided refractor, which is always appreciated. Again, number 27 of 150. So this is the mid-tier version of this card. So really, really cool. Love to do the rainbow. I saw a rainbow for sale the other day. I think it was maybe Barry Bonds. Or Mark McGuire. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, great set. I don't think a lot of people also kind of say they're kind of generic or ugly looking cards. I don't think so when you see them in hand, and also when you see the refractor finish on them. I think it looks cool. So, but yeah, it's definitely a set that's not been popular historically. So next up, again, here is your molten metal from Skybox, the fusion card. So here's the Barry Bonds. I call it the base card or the regular card. So I always love this set. So just whenever I can pick more of them up, I will. And again, this is base, not numbered. So there's a blue version that's numbered and a gold that's also numbered. Blues are 500. I think golds are 50. So it's a great set. Very cool. Very platinum portraity. And this was just a parallel that was in that set. It's not the Platinum Portrait. I always get those confused because they look pretty much similar. Here is a super interesting card. Zenith, I think 1996. I was going to guess. You look at it real close here. Yep, 1996. You can see it right there. All right, and this is and they call them again, Diamond Day. Oh, come on, man. Diamond Club. Sorry, I'm going to say Diamond Debut. Diamond Club. That's what the set was named. And this is an interesting card because this has the actual diamond on it. And it's in a sleeve, so it's a little cloudy there, but this actually has the diamond, just like a Flawless card has that diamond in it. So there you go. It's pretty cool. You can zoom in, you can see the diamond. And yeah, pretty rare. They didn't number them, so like a lot of sets from the 90s, they should have numbered it, but they didn't. So I have no clue how many were made. But they're not something you could just go out and find very easily, especially the big dogs in the set. The Griffey for one, Frank Thomas the other. But this is Maddox, and he was the best pitcher in baseball probably in the 90s. So, or at least you can argue that he was. Definitely in the argument. So it was cool to get his card, and it's just cool to have an early version of a kind of a different type of memorabilia card. This is the Diamond Club. Yeah. So, and I've seen the Ripken and a few other players available. So, you know, you could probably get 4 or 5 players, but the Griffey is pretty damn tough. I've never really seen one in person. Cool set. Now here's, I'm going to show both cards at once just so you guys can see what I got here. This is 1998 Bowman's Best Refractors. These are numbered to 400. And I picked up both the Jeter and the Frank Thomas. So this is really cool. Jeter's a 10, Thomas is a 9. But when you combine it with the Griffey, I pulled out of a pack. I've got just kind of hanging out right here. Now I've got all 3 of my main collecting interests in the 90. Griffey, Jeter, and Thomas all on the same card. And that's sort of like, you know, the triplets that I want to get from most sets is all 3 of these guys and the cool inserts. And again, all numbered here. You can see Frank's number 348, Jeter's 247, and Griffey is 267. There you go. So they're all numbered, and I got 2 10s and a 9th. That's kind of cool. The Jeter and the Griffey are both 10s, and the Thomas is a 9. So it's just one of those cool sets that I really, I love Bowman's Best, and having all 3, oops, knocking cards over, all 3 cards of the players I collect. It's kind of one of the first ones I've done. I think I may have a few other sets where I've got all 3 of them in one, but this is definitely one that I really dig. Now moving into the Griffey cards. So we'll go through the ungraded. So some of these I was given as part of, you know, by a collector when I bought another card. So this Premium Power card from UD Choice was actually kind of free, honestly. This Z-Team card, I believe it's from 97 or 98. Zenith, I bought it, and it's very interesting. There we go. 98. Because of how cool some years the Z-Team cards are, and this year it was very much plain Jane, just foil. And actually, this reminds me a lot of what Elites turned into in football and baseball, as they took all those cool designs and just made them just foil. And they look terrible compared to what they used to. Topps Chrome from 99. Fortune 15 base card of Griffey. So everyone wants the refractor, but this is just the base card. It's not numbered. Like the man cards are numbered out of 500. 2000 EX Exciting. So this is kind of cool. It's kind of like die cut like his jersey. You know, I think I've had this card before. So it's just kind of a cool die cut and foily, kind of shiny. From 2000, 2001, Topps Golden Memories. Again, that was a freebie. Same way for this card. 2001, Fleer Futures. Kind of like I don't know, a little foily, or it's got like a texturized surface there, silver surface. Again, kind of a cool card from 2001 Flair, or Flair Futures, but not worth a ton. And then last but not least, Griffey Gallery. Again, a freebie card. You can see how dirty that holder is. Now, for the cool Griffey cards, or the graded ones. I mean, there were definitely some cool ones there, but the first one is a card I've never actually seen before and owned. Not a huge collector of all these food cards, but this came up. It's a Hostess Twinkies Griffey from 93. I like the fact that it's so old. Like 93 is still pretty old, and here's the back. It's a great back. I got a photo on him. I mean, nice looking set. They did a great job with the set. Whoever designed it did a good job. Cool looking set. 93 Hostess. It's only an 8, but hey. Cool looking card. Next up is a set that's pretty tough. The Away. From 97 Pinnacle. You could only get these in the magazine packs. And again, the theory is that the home cards are much harder to get than the away cards. But I've not seen tons of either one of them. So, I mean, they're available, but they're not like, that easy to find. Both versions for sure. And here's the Away Griffey and an 8. Next up is the 97 Ultra Top 30 Gold Medallion version. So they just made the whole card gold in 97. And these were die cut originally. Top 30. And embossed. So this is still cool. Foil, die cut, embossed. So 3 technologies going on a card that's probably worth $30 max, even as an 8. And then last but not least, 98 Bowman's Best Mirror Image Fusion base. So this is the base version. It's a 9. On the back, you've got Mr. Grieve, who's in a ton of sets. Ruin a lot of cards on these double-sided cards. But here's the Griffey. It's a 9. And again, the refractor and the atomic are numbered and are worth a pretty good amount of money if you can find them. So this is definitely one of the cooler insert sets from 98 Bowman's Best, which we saw the refractors from 98 Bowman's Best, and here's one of the inserts. So cool design, cool set. So that is my mail day for you guys. I got some pretty big cards coming in pretty soon. So when they do, I'll let you know, and I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.